Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. It is a beautiful fall day, as you can see. The sun is here. It's like a nice golden hour moment, although I'm sure it's like 4 p.m. or something, but yeah, so that's what's going on. Besides that of what's going on, besides that going on, I'm starting a reading vlog. This is a dedicated reading vlog to Adrienne Young, author of Fable, Namesake. I will also be reading The Last Legacy, The Girl the Sea Gave Back, and Sky in the Deep. I will be reading all of those. If there's time, I might try to read Spells Forgotten, but it's unlikely. I think I'm going to just focus on her YA works, which I'm very excited about. So obviously I will be reading Fable first for this vlog, but yeah, I just wanted to intro the video. I decided to do this because on November 27th, I believe, Saint is coming out. And so I really want to read everything that this author has written and see what I rate things, if I like them, and then if I can allow myself to pre-order Saint before just, buying it. I think that Adrienne Young is going to be a favorite author. I follow her on Instagram, absolutely adore her. She's kind of in the same category of like Adrienne Grace, who's the author of Belladonna and All the Stars and Teeth duology. Stephanie Garber, author of the Caraval series. There's a few other people in her author's sphere. Rachel Griffin, Shay Earnshaw, and then a few that I haven't read from before. But basically, what I'm saying is that she's kind of in this category of authors that I'm obsessed with, that I absolutely love, specifically Stephanie Garber and Adrienne Grace. Like, I just love them all so much. I kind of put Erin A. Craig in the loop, even though I'm not sure if they're friends or what all of their personal stuff looks like. I don't care. But I do hold her to the same standards, if you will. I've read Adrienne Grace, All the Stars and Teeth. Hopefully I will eventually get around to Belladonna. I love Stephanie Garber's Caraval. I'm really excited to finish that. I love the vibes. So I'm kind of sort of maybe making this a series. We will see. But basically it's reading an author's backlist and deciding whether or not they are worthy enough for me to pre-order their book, because I need to stop pre-ordering so many books, especially of authors that I've never read from before, and they have plenty of works of which I could be reading. This is also kind of like a taste test because, again, I think this will be a favorite author, and there's no better way to figure that out than just read all 5 works in a very short amount of time together. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna read and read and read, and I will check in with you guys when I finish each book, have something to say and talk about. Here she comes. What are you doing? Are you gonna make bread? Okay. I'll check in with you guys after I finish Fable. Oh my goodness. You're so silly. Fable. So, for starters, this is about our main character, Fable, who is daughter to not quite a pirate, but they are instead like in the trade business. Her father's Saint, who has the prequel that's coming out about her father. Anyway, this is basically following Saints, the head of trade, big boss daddy. This is his daughter, Fable, and her journey getting off of one small island that she's been basically trapped on for 4 years to fend and fight for her life. Finally, she escapes on the Marigold, and it's a found family story. Yeah, that's basically it. Like, she's a dredger, which means that she goes down into the ocean and like explores the coral reefs for different kinds of gems that she can sell. That's basically the premise. It's basically she just finds found family on this ship, this small little crew who are also doing their little trade thing. I actually adored this. I absolutely loved it, but it's not for a reason that you would typically give a book 5 stars, would typically love. It's very nice writing. It's the kind of writing that I enjoy, but more than that, it is a fantasy story with low stakes, even though like there are action-y things with consequences happening, if that makes sense. So we'll go from one scene where she's kind of in danger or almost in danger, and then she's okay. And so there's a quicker turnaround of events. You're kind of flying through the timeline. It's never like stuck in one place. It's not very stagnant. And I just really enjoyed the pace. I enjoyed how fast everything would happen. I really enjoyed the cliffhanger at the end, the writing. I loved the characters and their conversations and just like that banter that was going on. Everything about that I adored. I think it was splendid. I gave this 5 stars. I don't know if this is quite like a favorite book of all times, but it's a very beloved, popular young adult duology. Like, it's very well loved. And I understand why. Like, it's just comforting. It's kind of cozy. There's definitely like dangerous things happening and there's like tension at times, but it doesn't linger too long or have us doing boring stuff on the ocean for too long. Like, it is just like the perfect pace. It's the perfect amount of everything in a book. And I just really liked it. The slow burn romance, loved all the oceanic piratey ship vibes. It's really worked for me. I'm very happy with how it's gone. As for Namesake, I unfortunately do not have the dust jacket. My dogs ate it. I can't do the cool like little face thing anymore because my dogs suck. But it's fine. It's still like a very pretty book at least. Sure. There's that. I also have tabs, and I've felt the need to tab absolutely nothing. Like, I've just been devouring these books, like, in one sitting. So yeah, I'm loving it. What I like about this is it picks up right where Fable left off with the cliffhanger. And one thing I will also say about this duology is there are twists, but none of them are, like, a shocking twist that you don't expect. Like, you can easily see them coming. But I think that just kind of adds to the coziness because you're just comforted because you know what's going to happen. And so you're not stress reading, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm getting to the halfway mark. I'm on chapter 17. I'm adoring it still. There was like a slight ball scene, and more fantasies need more ball scenes, and they need to be more elaborate. Thank you so much. So yes, I just love books set on the coast or on the ocean, so it doesn't surprise me that I'm enjoying these so much, but I'm going to just jump right back in. I'll check in with you guys once this one is finished and before I start the next one. Namesake was also 5 stars, but for totally different reasons. I like that the first book is kind of like a cozy fantasy sort of thing, and then the second book has like much higher stakes. There's a lot going on. There's like a full plot happening, whereas the first one was like a lot of subplots, if you will. So I really enjoyed like the comparison and the difference with the two. I also read The Last Legacy. Haven't talked too much about that. Haven't talked about it at all, actually. I read The Last Legacy. I listened to like the first 25% or so of the audiobook and then picked the physical book up, and I just was like obsessed. I'm so in love. 5 stars for, again, totally different reasons. Like, it is very romance heavy. It's much more of like a romance fantasy. It is still in the same world of Fable and Namesake, but it follows like a different family entirely, and I really enjoyed Bryn and more of Ezra. Oh my god, I love Ezra so much. So yeah, I just was like kind of swooning the whole time for that, and now I'm like really in the mood for fantasy romance. So there's that. As for tomorrow, I will be reading the other duology, Sky in the Deep and The Girl the Sea Gave Back. So I will be reading those tomorrow. I'll check in with you then, but I'm gonna get some sleep because it is 1 a.m. Hello, it is the next day. Haven't checked in with you guys. I've been in a weird not wanting to really film mood, and for just getting out of a reading slump and forcing myself to read 5 books in 24 hours for this video, I'm a little exhausted, I'm not gonna lie. But I did end up reading The Sky in the Deep and its companion sequel, The Girl the Sea Gave Back. Both were good. Honestly, I really enjoyed The Sky in the Deep. This first one is following Elin. This first one's following Elin, who is a part of the Osca tribe. They are basically all warriors because every 5 years they get into a brawl to the death with the Rika tribe. It's not really clan, community. This is definitely more on the Vikings side of history fantasy, so I think that's really interesting. It does get a little gruesome. There is violence. There's also animal cruelty, so definitely check the content warnings. It is pretty rooted in Viking history in that way of brutality, but there's also romance, which you know I'm a sucker for. I really enjoyed the romance in this. I really enjoyed the family aspect to this, which I kind of can compare to Last Legacy, which I will talk more about as well. But overall, I did really enjoy this. I gave it 5 stars. Wild, I know. It's funny that all 4 of these got 5 stars for all such different reasons, and I'll go over that at the end. But yeah, I really enjoyed these characters and the story. And then the sequel, The Girl the Sea Gave Back, this is actually 10 years in the future, following the Rika family's youngest brother 10 years later, and this new girl, Tova. And Tova is like a seer. She uses these stones to see the future. Unfortunate events, she died as a kid, crazy, and then was washed ashore in this Svel community town peoples, and they basically take her in, raise her. She causes some problems fighting, because, you know, warriors. This cover is so beautiful, and the naked as well. It says the stones don't lie. So pretty. This was my least favorite. I haven't fully decided on a rating yet if I want to do 3 stars or 4 stars, so I might just do a 3.5 right in the middle. This one's dual POV. There's flashback chapters from 12 years, 7 years, 10 years in the past, a bunch of different ranges, going back to their childhoods and where they were at then and where they're at now. The romance is much less than the other books. Like, you know that they're gonna eventually be together, but it's like but not really. Like, it's barely there, so it's not the same like romancy happy feelings that I've had with the other books. So it wasn't my favorite for that. The writing style just changed a little bit because we had the dual POVs. I definitely preferred Halvard. I definitely preferred him as a child. And here he was like one of my favorite characters in The Sky in the Deep as a kid, and I just like didn't love him quite as much as an adult. So yeah, this one was my least favorite of them all, but it was still good. It's shorter, but it was just like, I don't recommend reading 5 books in 24 hours because you will be exhausted of reading. So this one I definitely was like trying to more power through and get over with. But that is all 5 read. Each of these starts from 320 pages to 350 something pages, I think. Like, they're all relatively around the same page length, which was nice for me. So I'm gonna say that The Last Legacy is my favorite. This is technically a standalone, but it is set in the same universe and world as Fable and Namesake. I loved Ezra in Fable and Namesake, so I already liked him, and then him being the romance love interest in this, I just adored it. I really enjoyed the Roth family and like their journey to be accepted into society again. I thought was just like very interesting. I really liked all the commentary. I loved the banter. I loved Ezra. The romance was much more heavy, and I was super here for it the entire time. I also really enjoyed like empowering feminist vibes. This is the one. So this would be my favorite. You don't have to read Fable and Namesake to read this, but this was my favorite. And then I think Namesake would be my second favorite, but it's also like kind of tied with Fable because they are similar, but the vibes are so different, but it makes them pair so well together. I'm still sad that I can't make the covers match together. Anyway, I really enjoyed like the low stakes, the fast pace, the getting to know the characters, the found family, to like the found family but high stakes. A lot is happening, people suck, but also like happy ever afters. Like, I just really enjoyed it. So yeah, these would be next in the favorites. And then of course Sky in the Deep. Because this is set in like such a different world than the 3 I read yesterday, it definitely took maybe a bit longer to get into this, but I really loved the world and the characters, and it just like, it gave me the same feelings that the other books did, whereas unfortunately this one didn't quite have that same feeling, the same charm to it, but I still enjoyed it nonetheless. So that's that. The last book that I have from Adrienne Young is Spells for Forgetting. This is their adult debut, so I'm not going to read it for this video. I don't have that kind of time right now, but I'm very excited to eventually get to this. But as for the purpose of this entire video, will I be pre-ordering... Oh, one of these is backwards. But for the sake of the purpose of this video, oh goodness, will I be pre-ordering Saint? Absolutely. So here's the thing. I really enjoyed the, I don't remember what they're called, the Navigation trilogy. That's not correct. I'll try and put it on the screen. But I loved these three so much that I'm of course going to, I've already pre-ordered Saint. This video is supposed to come out the day that Saint is released, November 27th. I think it'll be coming up the day after because I had to finish reading the books. But because I love these three so much, obviously I'm going to keep reading in this world, which Saint is the next one. It's following Fable's father, and I'm assuming how he built his life from nothing to owning this really big trade to falling in love with Isolde, Esled, I don't remember her name, and how they fell in love and changed everything, and I'm very excited for that. I did pre-order it through Amazon, but it's not gonna get here until like mid-December, which is sort of annoying, but whatever, it's fine. But yes, I did pre-order it because obviously I love these books. I was definitely right that Adrienne Young is a favorite author of mine. I'm not gonna say these are the best books ever, but they give me everything that I want out of a YA fantasy, you know? Like Stephanie Garber right there, Rachel Griffin, Adeline Grace, like those are all authors that I really enjoyed. Erin A. Craig, that's just like, that's the YA that I want for my fantasy. It's the vibes, it's just perfect. I love it. So yes, I read all 5 of these wonderful books. 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 4 stars, 3.5, I don't know, and 5 stars. So yeah, it definitely was a good reading vlog. I'm definitely glad to have finally read these. I've been wanting to read Fable basically since it came out. I got Sky in the Deep from an Owl Crate when it came out, so that was quite some time ago, I'm sure, when I was in high school for sure. So I've known about Adrienne Young forever, and so I'm very glad that I've finally just read her dang books because they were great. They were a good time. I wouldn't say that they're favorite books. Like Caraval is a favorite book. These ones are like 5 stars. I love them, but not like 5 stars favorite books, except for maybe The Last Legacy. I think I could see myself rereading that one in the future. But that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you for hanging out and sticking around. Let me know if you've read any of these. This is like a low-key dedicated to Kaylee because she really wanted me to read Fable and Namesake, and when I mentioned it on Instagram, you can follow my Instagram, it's always in the description down below. When she saw that I was reading Fable and Namesake, she was like, yes, finally! So yeah, let me know if you've read these or if you have any desire in reading these. I would recommend them if you like YA fantasies, and especially if you like pirate books. Honestly, if you like Viking or pirate books, like they're very atmospheric. Like you are there with the characters, and the characters are wonderful. It's just a good time. So yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Thank you for hanging out with me. I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye!